depends on how big you're gonna do your fire. So since this is a small fire, it's gonna burn very shortly. You don't wanna have too big of a diameter of wood because the fire is gonna burn so quick that you're not gonna be able to turn the whole thing into char if you have a big old log in it. But if you were doing like a full-on giant burn, then you can have giant logs. So basically the diameter of your larger logs are kind of relevant to the size of your overall fire. So this, what, like 3 inches just roughly or so. So we're just gonna place these in here. So big logs on the bottom.
This isn't any specific type of wood, is it?
No, you can.
Doesn't matter.
No, not really.
All right, just checking out.
What I'm doing though is I'm trying to make sure that as I lay things that there's not a bunch of like air pockets or anything, because what ends up happening is if you have these air pockets, you'll end up with like you'll end up with an area where the fire isn't burning. If the fire isn't burning, smoke will escape from that opening, and then it's no longer a smokeless fire. And it's not like 100% smokeless. The goal is up to 85% smokeless in the beginning when you start it, and at the end is usually when you see the most smoke. But once you get it like throughout the majority of the burn, it gets pretty clean. But again, we want it to be like, so the smoke itself, most people don't realize this, but smoke is flammable, it's a gas. So kind of like, just imagine your stove, when you turn on your stove, you open, you turn it on, the gas comes out from below, it ignites, burns pretty clean, you don't see any smoke. Obviously it's a different fuel, but it's kind of the same premise. We're gonna actually burn from the top down, and so what ends up happening is the fire above is gonna heat the wood below, emitting the smoke from below coming up into the flame front, and then it'll ignite and then burn clean. So the smoke is burning in the fire itself.
So you kind of want to like pack it densely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So now that we've got a couple pieces, I wish I would have had more pieces of wood, but that's kind of what we got. So
find you some
roots and stuff. I mean, but it has to be dry. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, if it's wet.
We got wood or no?
No, only the
Yeah, it's fine. It'll still work. Yeah, I don't want to use wet because if we use anything wet, it's going to create a lot more smoke. It's going to create more problems. But notice still so far, like look up where the fire's coming. See, there's smoke here, but in the center, if you look up, there's not very much smoke. So where the fire is burning, it's burning really clean. And then if you look, the white smoke's emitting from the edges where it's escaping. With biochar, it's charcoal with added biology.
Okay.
So like I was saying kind of yesterday, the charcoal itself is a house, right? Well, it's also a filter, but it's got all these little like little holes, crevices in them. And then, yeah, all that surface area, exactly. And so once we're done with this, we're likely gonna make a compost tea, right? You can take your compost tea and then you spray it onto your onto your charcoal. Now it's biochar. Yeah, and so another thing is too, is if you take this charcoal by itself and put it in your soil without adding biology, or even if you just wanted to add organic foods with no biology, but if you add nothing to it, it's gonna act like a filter in your soil.
Right.
And you put it in your soil, it's gonna extract nutrients that are available, hold them, and it might actually steal nutrients from your plants for a period of time until that system starts finding balance.
Sure.
So that's why when you're doing biochar, it's always best to treat it before you apply it, unless you're confident that, hey, in a week or in a short period of time, I'm gonna come and treat it once it's in the soil. But if you just throw the charcoal out there and just hope for the best and it's gonna take at least a season for it to stop stealing things and it finally actually to start giving you some of those benefits.
I see. So before using it as a soil amendment, give it the treatment in the compost tea.
So,
Yep.
okay, like what are the different ways and methods of introducing biology in there? One is compost tea.
So you can do a compost tea, which we'll show you in a little bit. It's like you're actually multiplying the microbes, right? You can do a compost extract, which is super simple because you can get like vermicompost, and then you could technically get a paint strainer bag, but I don't really like using them because they got a 240 micron hole, and most of the microbes The larger ones, they need about a 400 micron hole. So they're too large, and when you're doing that extract, you're getting mostly bacteria and not all the good, all the organisms that are missing from your ecosystem. That community is missing essentially.
Yeah.
So I recommend paying a little bit extra. You get a compost tea bag made 400 microns specifically, and you take your vermicompost, you put it in there, and you wash it in non-chlorinated water, and you can dump it on. There's other biological like bokashis and different things people use, and you don't have to use biology. You can also just use a water-soluble organic nutrient to spray onto it. The point is just to adhere those, to fill that surface area with foods and or biology. I prefer to do a little bit of both. But if you guys want to check it out, it's pretty white now. There's a little bit of black. Normally I'd let it get a little bit more white, but we just didn't have the right ratio that I was hoping for. Again, I was ride sharing, so I could only bring so much material. So let Rom take a picture. So this is actually not going to be smoky, it's going to be steamy.
Okay.
So what looks like smoke is actually just going to be water vapor coming up. So everyone back up, the water vapor is a little bit, it's going to be warm.
Ended up saving them money because they didn't have to send
Yeah, is this one the way
It's like the structure is there. Like good structure is there.
It doesn't taste like anything. It's charcoal, yeah. I thought it would taste like...